There. Good evening and such. Starting the 4th episode. Turnabout Storyteller. And I'm trying to remember what we saw the opening thing, right? There's a guy eating noodles and someone came up behind him and strangled him? Maybe? I don't know. Hello, Serp. I don't actually remember how he died. People found him face down in his noodle bowl. Maybe. What the heck? Who brings a defendant to his own trial late? Plus, the request was so last minute, I didn't even have a chance to talk with my client. He's late for a very important date. You've successfully assembled your new computer chair. It was a mess? What could be so difficult about assembling a new computer chair? Pay no attention to the computer chair parts that have been on my floor for the past month. Because I'm actually waiting. My mom got me a new chair for Christmas, and the package of like screws wasn't there. So I called the company, and they're like, yeah, they're like, we can just send you another pack if you give us our address, but it's gonna take like 10 weeks. I'm like, woof. So in another 6 weeks or so, I'll have a new chair. Not that there's anything. Well, no, there is something wrong with this one. It's not very comfortable. My name is Athena. Wait, is this the first we've seen her in this game? I don't even remember. Wasn't she in? Was she in Chapter 2? What was Chapter 2? What were any of the chapters? I don't remember. Maybe not. No, wait. With Trucy. Yeah. Yeah, why is she introducing herself? She was in Case 2. Armed with analytical psychology and a full arsenal of legal know-how, I'm a fully competent defender of the Wright Anything Agency. Though I wish my client would show up already. The trial's about to start. It appears we made it just in time. Where have you been? The trial's about to start, Simon. Okay, so he's back? Is this just an everybody's back episode? Or game? Well, I guess every game they bring people back, right? Last game we had Clavier show up. You needn't get so worked up, Athena. His baldness can wait. There's no way he'd wait for me. And besides, why would I want to start off on the wrong foot with him right out of the gate? Dealing with such matters is part of being a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, well, covering for your lateness is not. Still but a rank amateur, I see. This is Simon Blackwell. Don't even get me started on him. Like, are we just gonna sum up his whole backstory? He might not look it, but he's actually a prosecutor. So wait, he's not gonna be the... Wait, is he the... Well, we'll find out. He's actually a prosecutor and a psychology specialist. He and I go way back. As for our shared specialization in psychology, we're both disciples of the same person, so to speak, but he's kind of my senior, I guess. But twisted sense of humor or no, I wish he'd stop treating me like a child all the time. So, where are Wright Dunno and Justice Dunno? Mr. Wright is abroad, and Apollo is helping Trucy with her magic show. Didn't I tell you? They're what? So neither one of them are here, leaving you to take this on alone. Yep. Ye gods. Call Wright Dunno back. It's not too late. Oh no, not too late at all. He would only need to know how to teleport. Very well. Then I will settle for Justice Dunno. Grab him by the horns and drag him here. Apollo was literally in the middle of a show, Simon. You may not want to admit it, but I've got what it takes to take on this case. Just leave this to me and go watch from the gallery. As your defense derails in spectacular fashion. Oops. No, as I win the heck out of this trial. Wait a sec. So, why doesn't he just defend himself then? Because, like, if she hasn't even met with him to discuss the case, Like, he knows what courtrooms are like, and there's obviously no rules in this universe, so he should be able to just defend himself and do a better job than she would. Probably. I'll be okay. Promise. Then again, he's never won a case before, has he? Well, no, he has, just not against any of the real people. I thought she was waiting. I thought she said she was waiting for him. We'll see. I'll be okay, promise. So wipe that look off your face already, will you? Anyway, I take it the guy behind you is... Oh, okay. You were right. Yes, he's your... He's asleep again. Oi, Bucky, wake up. Gah! Is he drunk? What'd you do that for, Simey Hick? Alright, showing up drunk. This is good. Huh? Who's this yellow chickadee? She is your lawyer, such as it were. I'd say she's more green than yellow, however. Lawyer? She sure doesn't look it, does she? Is she like your fellow apprentice or something? Traditional American soba delivery boy, of course. Something like that. I've known her longer than I've known you. You could say we're bound to one another. Oh, okay. Well then, guess I better call her Miss Chickadee then. Simon, this guy's not only rude, but he's 3 sheets to the wind at his own trial. I know we just met, but I'm about ready to give him a piece of my mind. So hold on, are we in the like G-rated Japanifornia universe where Phoenix Wright sits by a piano drinking grape soda out of wine bottles? Is he smashed off of like cream soda or something? He's Bucky because soba are buckwheat noodles. Wow, we're getting it real quick. And what the hell? Bucky's a real name. I'm not comfortable with this. What's his last name? Go ahead, lay it on me. I'm ready for disappointment. Oh, he's not there. Do as you will. Just save it for after the trial. Miss Chickadee. Don't call me that. How do you do? Simey here's an old friend of mine. I'm the 4th generation head chef of Wet Soba. Wet Soba? Wet Noodle number 4, Bucky Wet. Nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you too, Mr. Wet. So he can pull himself together when he wants to. If only the trial wasn't starting in a few minutes. Having been accused of a murder that only occurred yesterday, I'm afraid it's taken a toll on the poor boy. And you happened to be there at the theater where it all happened too, right? They said they found a Rakugo storyteller murdered in his dressing room. Indeed. The victim, master storyteller, Taifu Tornado. Okay, at least almost sounds like a fake Japanesey, real-ish name. But like Typhoon Tornado. We're defending the Tatsumakis. Taifu Tornado was a longtime patron of Wet Soba. Yeah, maybe it's just Korean. Maybe it's just them and their terrible country. Master Tornado had been looking after Bucky ever since Wet Noodle number 3 passed away. I see. So the victim was kind of like a father to the defendant, huh? That stupid old fart. Like a father? No way, he's always dishing my soba. How dare you speak ill of him? Running your mouth like that is why they suspect you of his murder in the first place. Now pull yourself together. Number 3 must be rolling in his grave. But Saimi, the police, none of them believes me. They won't listen to me. Looks like he's still in shock from the whole ordeal. Don't worry, Mr. Wet. Everything's gonna be all right. I'm gonna defend you with everything I've got. You're in good hands now. You believe me, ma'am? Of course. No matter what, I'll believe in you to the very end. Gee whiz, Miss Chickadee. Now come on, I need you to shape up, just like those al dente noodles of yours. Yes, ma'am. My soba's the freshest. Uh-oh. Right on. Okay. Mr. Wet. Bucky, you great big pillock. Because that's a thing we call people. So, how exactly do you know this guy? I used to frequent Wet Soba, and still do, in fact. So I've known him since he was a lad. Hello, Garrett. This is true. Believe and believe in are two different things. She probably does both. That's why his father and Master Tornado were always so good to me. I didn't know you liked soba so much, Simon. I wouldn't expect one such as you who eats meat slapped between slabs of bread to understand the delicate taste and subtle textures imparted by buckwheat flour. Hey, that's just rude, but I digress. I'm all about flavor and subtlety and stuff. If I let Wet Soba end like this, I'll never be able to face number 3 or Master Tornado in the next life. And that's why you came to me. You wanted somebody you could trust. It was never my intention to ask you. Grr. I'll show him I can handle it just fine. Well, I believe it's just about time. What? But we haven't even properly discussed the case yet. What's the matter? You look nervous, Athena. Don't tell me you're chickadeeing out. I'm just trembling with the excitement of battle, that's all. Auf geht's! Let's do this. Come on, Mr. Wet. Get up off the floor. We've got a case to win. Yes, Miss Chickadee. I'm gonna do my best.
Wet soba, wet soba, wet soba, wet soba, wet soba.
Is this gonna be a pun thing? Like he has a pager that says wet soba, but somebody's gonna think that it said something else? Like the "You're a goner" line? Hello, 2 bowls of noodles? Sorry, sir, no can do. Kinda busy at the courthouse. Huh? They hung up. Okay, let's do this. He's not going to do himself or his case any favors like this, Simon. Maybe we should let him go get some rest somewhere. Maybe rest? Maybe if I were a lump of regular flour dough for udon. Okay, he's only gonna talk in noodle puns, sure. But I'm fresh like my soba. You don't let soba dough rest. It's all about the 3 freshes. Grind the... Okay, I don't really care how you make new soba. Plus he passed out again. Good. He's blacked out. Oh boy, I just knew something like this would happen. Simon, what are these 3 fresh... Is this gonna... Of course it is. Of course it is. First, buckwheat seeds, or groats, are ground to make buckwheat flour. Then dough made with this flour is cut with a large rectangular knife into noodles. And finally, the buckwheat noodles are boiled. Each step is done immediately, one after the other, so the soba is fresh when eaten. Oh, so that's what he meant. I wouldn't want him to make me any soba right now, though, that's for sure. I wonder if... Could it be that was also supposed... Like the soba and sober pun? If it wasn't originally intended in Japanese, they'll make it here anyway. At the end, this is no time for idle chatter. You need to get into the courtroom now. Just remember, as a prosecutor, I will be unable to lend you a hand. Wait, is he... He's not the prosecutor, is he? Wait. So don't expect any help from my quarter. There you go, treating me like I'm incompetent again. For your information, I wasn't planning on asking you for help anyway. Grr. Just you wait, Simon, I'll show you. Mr. Wright and Apollo may not be here, but that's alright, I can do this on my own. Hey, Vulcan phase. Could be. Well, it's at least we have a pun name. The guy who was murdered is named Taifu Tornado, which is at least almost a name. It's close enough to a name, and it's supposed to sound like Typhoon Tornado. Oh no, we're up against him again. Okay. Weird. He just gets around. He's just constantly hopping these transatlantic, Japaniform Atlantic flights in order to do trials in both countries. Okay. Court is now in session for the trial of Bucky Wet. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is fully prepared, Your Honor. What's this? No prayer this time, Prosecutor Sadmati? That is correct, Your Honor. To expedite these proceedings, I completed them beforehand in the lobby. How very thoughtful of you. By the way, what brings you back to this country? Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth himself called on me to handle this case. Besides, I have a debt to repay, and though my opponent is yet a callow thing, I have no qualms with sending her down to hell. Objection! If you have a score to settle, it's with Apollo, not me. But more importantly, I am not a callow thing. I'm a qualified and capable attorney. Then what is that yellow attire, if not proof of your immaturity, you small spring chick? Now cease your shrill chirping. Now, Prosecutor Sadmati. She is still only a teenager, as are most defense attorneys. Please go easy on her. Great. Now even the judge is giving me the kid treatment. Very well. Shall we begin, Your Honor? Yes, I suppose we should. Early 20s? Sure, why not? 25. 1 foot in the grave. Now then, Prosecutor Sadmati, please give your opening statement. I'll show them what I can do. They'll be sorry they underestimated me. Certainly. Let the last rites of the victim commence. The incident is believed to have occurred around 4 p.m. yesterday, May 12th. Okay, yeah, wait. So this is like a day after the other. Like, you immediately after losing the other trial just hopped on the fastest plane in the galaxy so that you could fly over here the next day. I wonder why. Like, what's with the timetable? Why would they be like, we need to make sure all of these cases take place in the same week? Oh, I guess because the whole game has to take place while Phoenix Wright is on vacation. I guess. At a storyteller's theater called Kurukurute. The victim was a great master of the Tornado School of Rakugo, or comedic storytelling. His name was Taifu Tornado. The scene of the murder was the theater's dressing room. It is accessible via the staff entrance hallway and has an inner and outer sliding door. Oh, is it, what are they called? No, maybe it's not. What are they called, though? What's that game? Wait, there's several games, actually. Let it be known that there are several games. The estimated time of death is between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. The cause of death is suffocation, though how the victim suffocated is yet to be determined. Sure, both of those. Hanfuda sounds familiar. What's the one where you... Or Hanafuda. What's the one where you match, like, phrases from a poem? It came up in one of Pitch Shifter's Danganronpa streams a while ago. The classic American card game, of course. I want to go look it up real quick.
I can't do it if you're watching. If you
As a person,
just turn around.
Frump is here to host.
Can't do it if you're leering at me. It's creepy.
Okay, Karuta is the one that came up. Oh, that's the one where it has all of the, like, hiragana symbol. Okay. Utagaruta, which has Karuta as part of it, is maybe what I was thinking of. Alright, anyway. But that looks more like Hanafuda, you say. You are a person. Very good. The autopsy found nothing unusual in his lungs or stomach, and there is no murder weapon. Tokyo Hold'em. I will now submit the incident report to the court. It was found with his face thrust into a large soba bowl. Good. Prosecutor Sadmati, how can you name Mr. Wet as the culprit when you don't know how the victim was killed, or even with what? While it is true that the weapon and precise method are as yet unknown, the accused is the only one who had the opportunity to commit the murder. I will explain this assertion in further detail as we continue. Ugh, I guess this means he has some kind of evidence to present. Now, would the accused care to plead his case? Come to think of it, where is the defendant, Miss Sykes? Sorry, Your Honor, but I'm afraid Mr. Wet isn't feeling very well and is resting in the infirmary. Surely it is the lack of a clear conscience that impedes him from facing this court. Great, starting off on the wrong foot already. Mr. Wet is the head chef of a soba shop frequented by the victim. On the day of the incident, Mr. Wet went to the theater at the victim's request. Taifu Tornado was a connoisseur of soba, as you can see in these photographs. He was apparently making soba himself in his dressing room that very day. The soba found at the scene is likely the soba he himself made there. Liking soba is one thing, but making it in a theater dressing room's a bit much, no? Master Tornado truly had a passion for soba, didn't he? Oh, if he was eating mochi, then maybe it was a suicide. And he actually, well, not suicide, but accidentally choked himself on it. As it is very chewy, and you can choke on it accidentally, I guess, maybe. For a man like that to be murdered by a soba chef is simply unthinkable. And yet the accused had ample motive. For in the victim's safe we discovered the deed to the accused's shop. Mr. Wet was to inherit Wet Soba when he lost his father recently. However, it's believed the victim stole the shop's deed during the transfer process. The prosecution believes the accused killed the victim in order to get the deed back. A murder over the deed to a shop. That does sound like a plausible motive. So that's what this case is about. I wish Simon had filled me in a little better. I could have contributed more than just a couple thousand buckets of cold sweat if he had. Defense. From your demeanor, I gather you know very little about the details of this case. Well, you see, you are dishonoring the soul of the victim by appearing in the courtroom unprepared. You are an embarrassment to your profession. You putrid egg yolk. Eek! I'm sorry. Apollo's a red pepper, and now I'm an egg yolk? We've only just started, and I've been demoted from spring chick. I am ready to call my witness, Your Honor. This butterfly shall take the stand. Let us listen to the words of one who was present when the crime was discovered. Someone who was there when the victim's body was found. Very well. Witness, please take the stand. Oh. Okay. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Simon Blackwell, prosecutor. Prosecutor Blackwell? You didn't tell me you were going to take the stand. There simply wasn't time. I spent so much time telling you how to prepare soba from scratch that I didn't have time to say that I would be a witness. What a shame, Prosecutor Blackwell. Had you shared the damning scene you witnessed beforehand with the defense, we could have moved this trial along and saved the victim's soul that much faster. Damning scene? What in the world did Simon see? Prosecutor Sadmati, was it? Before I give my testimony, there's something I'd like to confirm. By all means. This case involves rakugo, a very traditional form of Japanese comedic storytelling. Do you have enough knowledge of this art form to handle the case competently? Are you implying that I am not qualified for this case? Not I don't think you're enough of a weeb to prosecute this. It's not what Simon sees. It's what Simon says. The most Americanist case, taking place in America, as it does. I am simply trying to ascertain your familiarity with the topic for now. It is a prosecutor's duty to learn the background of any case he takes on. I did some research on rakugo last night and have grasped the overall idea of it. How much could you possibly grasp in a single night? You fake weeb. Rakugo is a form of entertaining storytelling that originated in the form of Japan, in that the storyteller sits alone on the stage with only a fan at howl as. And the Rakugo artist tells long, whimsical stories, giving each character a distinct voice. This traditional art was originally invented by monks to make sermons more interesting. I don't think very much happened in the part that he faded out. Are you satisfied? If not, I could explain the 12 types of endings to such stories. Or shall I perform the famous story of Jugemu instead? Ugh! It appears you have put in a bit of study. Wikipedia. Yeah, of course. Your acknowledgement is most welcome, Prosecutor Blackwell. I can see why you are known for being quite thorough in your research, Prosecutor. Now, I would love to see you perform that story you mentioned, if you don't mind. If that is your Honor's request. Jugemu. The double slam. Your Honor, could we please get back to the trial? Oh, right, of course. I nearly forgot. Seriously? Of all the things for you to forget. Now then, back to the case. Prosecutor Blackwell, please tell this court what you witnessed. What Simon saw. I went to the theater yesterday and arrived at approximately 4 p.m. I went straight to Master Tornado's dressing room to say hello. Bucky went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out a while later. Master Tornado's junior disciple, Uendo? I'm afraid it's gonna be a dumb name. Maybe not, though. Oh, no, wait. Like Uen? Like wind? It's not very similar. But maybe his name is supposed to be Wind, to go with Typhoon Tornado. Wendo. Apparently, then entered the room soon after. That's when Wendo discovered Master Tornado's body. Now wait just a minute here, Prosecutor Blackwell. With testimony like that, you're practically accusing Mr. Wet of the That's how that works, isn't it? All I can do is state what I saw. I can't help how it appears. But a qualified and capable attorney such as you should be able to dispatch with it, right? Well, yeah, duh. Alright, I guess I better start by getting all the info out of him that I can. He had a window of opportunity to perform the murder. I went to... Alright. Oh, we'll just press on everything. When, though? Prosecutor Blackwell, what did you go to the theater for in the first place? I went because I had received an invitation from Master Tornado. Here, see for yourself. It was a special show commemorating his junior disciple Uendo's promotion. It was also an occasion to announce the boy's succession to the stage name of Uendo 2. So, what exactly does it mean to succeed to a stage name? You really don't know, do you? In the performing arts, a name succession is when an artist inherits a predecessor's name. I see. So there was another Wendo Rakugo artist before, and this disciple succeeded him, huh? And what exactly did your invitation say? It contained a simple letter of salutations and an outline of the show's program. Oh, it appears Typhoon Tornado was going to perform Toki Soba, or Time Soba. He's famous for his masterful pantomime of eating soba, using only his fan as a prop. And Wendo was to perform Soba Sei, or Soba Glutton, a soba-themed show, I see. It seems you know a thing or two about Rakugo yourself, your baldness. The first to perform was a senior disciple, Geiru. Gale and Wind. Alright, fine. Geiru. You could have just... their names could have... Well, maybe they're male, not female. I'm like, you could have just named them Gale. That's actually a name. Gail. Time Soba is cut with a time knife that must be the murder weapon, or it will have been. Would have been going to. And lastly, Master Tornado. These are still a little bit better than than the terrible crying pun names. I see. So that's why you happened to be at the Storytellers Theater yesterday. So what happened after you arrived?
Hold it!
And how did Master Tornado appear when you said hello to him? I went with the intention of greeting him, but ultimately, we didn't actually meet. You didn't see him? Why not? Geiru escorted me to the dressing room, but we heard the sound of Rakugo being performed from within. Thinking the master was rehearsing, we decided to wait in the hall till he was done. You heard Rakugo being performed in the dressing room? Yes, not just me, but Geiru as well. In other words, you can confirm that the victim was still alive around 4 p.m.? Correct. I couldn't hear him clearly through the doors, but I'm sure it was Master Tornado. I could tell because it was the times... Is that going to be his stupid alarm clock going off, or his ringtone? That's going to be the guy's ringtone. It was the time sober routine being performed in there. So that means the victim was killed sometime after that. Bucky went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out a while later. Please tell us in detail how Mr. Wet appeared at the time. Geiru and I were waiting in the hallway for Master Tornado to finish practicing, when Bucky appeared and entered the dressing room with his things. What happened after that? We heard what sounded like Bucky shouting inside the room. About 10 minutes later, Bucky came back out of the dressing room looking rather irate. This is most likely when the murder was committed. The victim was an elderly man. It would have been entirely possible to kill him within the span of 10 minutes. Arng! I'd better come up with some kind of counter-argument, and fast. Did we have... Her hold it seems louder than everyone else's. What do you mean by apparently? Didn't you see him go in? No, I couldn't. I wasn't able to see the dressing room door from where I was standing at the time. But Gayru was right in front of us, so I'm sure so it is a good name her Gale then. I would have been fine with it. It's an actual real name. I don't know any Gales, but I could. And why do you suppose Wendo went to the dressing room anyway? He had just finished his routine, so he was making a courtesy call. A disciple is to pay their master respect right before and after each performance. And all the disciples are expected to do this? Yes, it's common courtesy among Rakugo artists. I see. Could you tell us what happened after Wendo went into the dressing room? Certainly. That's when Wendo discovered Master Tainer. So there hasn't been anything yet, so either this is a press on everything, or he's going to give us more testimony right now. And how did Wendo act at the time? After Wendo had been in the dressing room for 2 or 3 minutes, we heard a scream from inside the room, and Wendo came flying out. Did you hear any signs of a struggle at that time? No, just Wendo's woeful scream. I see. Okay, it was a press on everything. Well done, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your testimony has given us quite a glimpse into the sequence of events. Thank you, Prosecutor Blackwell. And now, please allow me to summarize your testimony. While Prosecutor Blackwell and Gale were in the hallway waiting for Master Tornado, the accused came along and entered the dressing room with some items in tow. He was heard shouting for a time inside the dressing room, and about 10 minutes later, he came back out of the room seeming rather angry. A short time after the accused had come and gone, Wendo Tornado went into the room. A few minutes later, after having discovered the victim's body, Wendo gave a scream. So, this is immediately very weird. Why would our guy be accused of murder if somebody else went into the dressing room where there was a corpse, and a few minutes later, they screamed and came running out into the hallway from within? Prosecutor Blackwell and Gale then ran into the room and saw the body for themselves. From the circumstances, it is quite clear that the accused murdered the victim. This is crucial testimony indeed. Defense. An eyewitness has given conclusive testimony. Why not let it all go now and allow the victim his last rites? Not on your life. If Wendo went into the dressing room too, and was the first to discover the body, then who's to say he didn't commit the crime? Wendo was in the dressing room for a mere 2, perhaps 3 minutes. He could not have possibly committed murder in that time, nor without making any noise. Like, aren't Phoenix Wright games more fun when your client seems extremely guilty? Right? Like, I mean, there's the best case, right? Case 1-4, where it's like, oh, this guy was murdered on a boat in the middle of the lake with 2 eyewitnesses who also took photographs of him shooting the guy, and the gun he was found in the boat with the gun with his fingerprints on it. This is just, oh, he was in a room at one point during the day. That means he's the murderer. Prosecutor Blackwell, can't you give me something a little better to work with here? Isn't it up to you to ask the right questions? I am certainly willing to tell you all that I know. So if you truly are as capable as you claim, then draw out what you need yourself. This is no time for your twisted games, Prosecutor Blackwell. Just admit you don't remember it all that well. Prosecutor Blackwell, watching you collude with the defense like this, I see you are no prosecutor. Begone, witness. You shall haunt this sacred hall no more. How dare you treat me like some evil spirit to be exorcised? I'll remember this, you blackguard. Don't worry, Prosecutor Blackwell. I've got this. Would I have my way, he would not be the only one here to step down. Isn't that how it's pronounced? Right? Have I been saying blackguard wrong this whole time? Is it really pronounced blackguard? I don't think so. You half-boiled putrid egg yolk. Ew, I object to the notion that I'm a gooey smelly mess. Only prosecutors may collude with witnesses. Valid. It's right. It's on page 1 of the 2 pages long law book that everybody goes by. Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony was like the lowly opening act of a Rakugo show. He may hold the title of prosecutor, but this time he stood on the side of the defense. To restore balance to this trial, I would like to present an actual witness for the prosecution. And who is this witness? The person who was with Prosecutor Blackwell when the body was discovered. She is another entertainer of the Tornado School, Miss Gail Tornado. Come on. Please state your name and occupation, witness. So, I thought that... I thought we were in America, where we do Rakugo the right way. Whatever this is supposed to be... Garrett, please. Hello, everyone. I'm here to represent the Tornado School with a twisty twist. And bloom! There you have it, a stunning balloon hat. It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love, Gail Tornado. Just call me Gail, sweetie. Really now. 1, 2, bloom! What a way to capture your audience's attention! I dare say I can't take my eyes off those balloons. Please tell me you're talking about the hat, Your Honor. Oh, Mr. Judgy, I'm glad you liked my performance. Would you consider joining my fan club? Pretty please? Oh, absolutely. And please, save your fanboying for after the trial, Your Honor. This is... Side note, how dare they put a clown in this series ever again? After the travesty that was the Clown Fiesta? Why would they ever? I can't help but notice you seem awfully cheerful for having just lost your master. Of course I'm sad, but Shisho would scold me if I didn't put on a big smile. Never show sadness. Smile, smile, smile with a twisty twist twist. And bloom, there you have it, one gorgeous cake. I see. I guess an entertainer's gotta do what an entertainer's gotta do. Follow me on Instabook. And ring that bell. Her balloon art's worse than a Rorschach test? All I saw was a severed monster head. I think you need a psychologist. Geiru, you're obviously a balloon artist, so how did you come to be a member of a Rakugo school? Well, my father, my late father that is, he died from anime. Was a Rakugo artist, you see, so I joined the Tornado School to be just like my daddy someday. I see. My father and I owe so much to Shisho, our master, but that Bucky Wet, oh, how could he? I want to see him pay for what he's done as quickly as possible. Your distress is entirely understandable, and my condolences for your loss. And not only that, but he... You have more to say about Mr. Wet? Every time he comes to deliver soba to us, he yells at me. He always tells me to get away. Is there any reason why he would say such a thing to you? He says the smell of my perfume will get into his soba and ruin it. Like, how can he say that? This is a great scent. How very rude of him. I don't blame you for being upset. Excuse me, Your Honor, but please don't let Geiru's balloons bias your judgment. Mr. Wet hasn't been proven guilty yet, remember? It will be interesting to see how long that fire of yours will last, Defense. Floating mouse cursor where? Mine? My floating mouse cursor? Please share the truth with this court. Yes, Geiru, your testimony, please. From 4 p.m. to a little after 4:20 p.m., when Shisho's body was found, Simon and I were standing out in the hallway in front of the dressing room. Before Wendo discovered the body, the only person who had gone in there was Bucky. Oh, yeah. Come to think of it, a little while before Bucky showed up, Jugemu was barking like mad. He was barking, you say? Prosecutor Blackwell, do you have any objections to this witness's testimony? Why is he back? No. Make up your bloody mind, sad monk, said Marty. First you exorcise me, now this. You need only do as you are instructed by this humble servant of the Holy Mother. As there are no objections, Your Honor, let us move on to the salvation of the victim's soul. I'm the defense attorney here, Prosecutor Sadmati, and I just might have an objection or two once I actually cross-examine the witness. So what are you asking Prosecutor Blackwell for? I'm the one you should be checking with. There is a passage in the sacred scriptures of Kurainism. To stir the wind is beyond the power of a spring chick. In other words, the inexperienced are useless. With that in mind, it seemed more judicious to consult Prosecutor Blackwell. He doesn't even see you as an adverse and as an start over. He doesn't even see you as an adversary, Sykes don't know. Well, I won't let either one of you insult me. I'll show you I'm no experienced spring chick. Your Honor, I'm ready to cross-examine the witness. I hope you can make Prosecutor Sadmati see you as a worthy adversary, Miss Sykes. I'll allow your cross-examination, so you better strike while the iron is hot. Alright. Jumping straight to the barking. Jugemu? That's my doggy. I keep him at the theater. Let's see. With a twisted twist. And bloom, there you have it. My cute little Jugemu. He's kind of creepy looking. Oh, but he's a really, really good boy. And why was Jugemu barking? Do you think it's because he saw someone suspicious? If so, then we'd have a new suspect in this case. Now why was he barking again? Oh, I remember, because it was time for me to feed him. So I went into his yard to give him some food. Couldn't somebody have slipped into the dressing room while you were doing that? Nope, the door out in the yard was wide open. I would have seen if anybody went into the dressing room. Prosecutor Blackwell, come down to the stand for a sec, please. How many times must I do this? You saw what Geru was talking about, right? So why didn't you mention it before? I can't be expected to remember every minute detail. Well, remember them now, please. Did Geru go out into the yard? Yes. I remember now that she went to feed Jugemu. And I saw her looking toward the dressing room quite frequently as well. Well, isn't that suspicious? Do you recall anything else? It looked as though she were feeding the dog a great quantity of dumplings or something. Jugemu couldn't finish them all, so he buried the rest in the corner of the yard. That's about all I can remember. It looks like Geru was telling the truth. Your Honor, I'd like Geru's last statement added to her testimony. As you wish, defense. I was in the yard, but the door was wide open so I could keep watch on the dressing room. So that's gonna maybe... Why would anyone... How does this door work? You open it and then you can't get into the yard anymore? I mean, regardless, this is the answer.
Objection!
So, you were able to keep an eye on the dressing room while you were out in the yard? Is that correct? That's right. The door out in the yard was wide open. Sorry, but that makes zero sense. Take a look at this diagram of the backstage area. There's a clear contradiction between this diagram and the witness's testimony. Oh? I'm afraid I don't understand, Miss Sykes. Please point out what contradicts the witness's testimony. Is this?
Take that!
Geru was in the yard near the doghouse. Prosecutor Blackwell even saw her there. And while she was out there, the door to the yard had been left open. Ah, I see. Yes, if the door to the yard was wide open, as Geru said, it would have blocked her view, making it impossible for her to see the dressing room. What? No way! But even if there were, admittedly, a few moments Geru was not keeping watch, how much would that really affect this case? It would greatly affect the case. From the spot Prosecutor Blackwell stood, he couldn't see the dressing room door either. Anyone could have entered the dressing room during that time without being seen. Eek! Geru, why did you try to hide the fact that you weren't watching the dressing room? What? I... Hide the fact. No, wait. How long was she feeding the dog for? Because there was already somebody who went in for like 3 minutes without screaming. And they're like, you can't kill somebody in 3 minutes. It's not possible, so it doesn't count. Was she feeding the dog for like 10 minutes? Hide the fact. You speak as though you think she had something to do with the murder. Rather than deliberate deception, it was more likely a simple oversight. Right, witness? Well, I was so shocked by what happened. I was just confused, that's all. Even though she is trying to keep up a brave front as an entertainer, the truth is that she is being torn apart by grief. For her mind to be in turmoil is hardly unexpected. Yes, it must be very difficult indeed. To a disciple, one's master is akin to a real parent, surely. Her shock is immense. The way this lawyer tries to pin the blame on this poor soul at the first opportunity. All I can say is, defense attorneys are heartless creatures indeed. But I wasn't. That wasn't what I was trying to do. Is it beyond your comprehension, defense? Your unskilled argument is scarring this witness even further. And if we ask the people of this courtroom, I am sure they would agree, and it would count for something, because this is a court where the audience is allowed to chime in and say if the defense attorney's doing a good job or not. What? The gallery doesn't get a say in this. Are you afraid to find out that they think ill of you? Or perhaps you are in the wrong? Listen to them now with that keen sense of hearing you are so proud of. He's right. That was harsh. She didn't have to go that far. I feel kind of sorry for the witness. And why is the lawyer's outfit so yellow? I guess because you can, if you say Nissan, like Nissanju or Nissanen or whatever, it's literally the numbers 2 and 3, but it means a few. Right. No, I was just trying to find the truth. Why is the whole gallery siding with Prosecutor Sadmati? And why does it matter? The people understand. They know what is right and what is wrong. That lawyer's still in training, isn't she? Why is she all by herself? I hear the voices of the gallery. I can hear the voices of their hearts. It's so intense. I feel so alone up here fighting by myself. Maybe if I play some sort of mini-game to diminish my hearing? No. Are you afraid, child? It is ludicrous to come to trial with such paltry preparation of the soul. I command you to leave this courtroom at once. But I can't give up. I have to keep pressing on. As long as there was a moment when nobody was watching, as long as there was a single moment where nobody was watching the dressing room door, the defendant can't be convicted solely on Prosecutor Blackwell and Gayru's testimonies. Even now, you would continue to resist. You are childish in defeat as well, I see. I'm not out for the count yet, Buster. I'm just getting started. Despite your posturing, is it not true that your resolve could crumble at any moment? With but a little push, you would surely succumb to Zetsubo. A little push, such as with this piece of conclusive evidence. Conclusive evidence, huh? That is correct. We found a critical piece of evidence at the scene of the crime. The victim's dying message, which clearly implicates the accused, Bucky Wet. Look at these Japanese playing cards, known as karuta, lined up on the table. These special English version karuta cards. Naturally, what other version of karuta cards would there be? That message. Wet number 4. Wet number 4? You mean wet new... Oh no, is this going to be terrible? Is this going to be absolutely terrible? If these are the ones where it's like, oh, there were 7 like Japanese hiragana cards laid out, but if you read them in a different way, then it says something different in Japanese, and they had to somehow pull this off. This is gonna be a load of gravy. This is gonna be a load of roast gravy, I tell you. Yes, Wet Noodle number 4, as the 4th head chef of Wet Soba is also known. This message points to none other than the accused, Bucky Wet. No! That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Wow, great job, Mr. Prosecutor. Oh no, this is really, really bad. What do I do? What do I do? I bet you that's the actual voice of the translators coming through. What do I do? What do I do? Would you still carry on your futile fight in the fate of this irrefutable evidence? We don't know how he died while he was he has a robot eye. Somebody do an autopsy, check his eye. He had a robot eye. He was rendered unconscious. While he was unconscious, the robot eye jumped out, rearranged the cards as you do when you have a robot eye and you're unconscious, popped back in, and then he finished dying. Got it. 73100. Would you still carry on your futile fight in the face of this irrefutable evidence? You can say whatever you want, but we won't know until we... It is cruel to give the accused false hope. You will only compound his suffering. What wet on 4? Or wet no 4? You could rearrange it to the 4 now? Wise people of the courtroom, do you not agree? He's right. It's cruel to make him suffer when there's conclusive evidence. What an incompetent noob! I feel bad for the victim and the defendant. What? But I'm trying to prove Mr. Wet's innocence here. I know you can hear them, defense. Their voices implore you to save the accused soul. For he won't! It is time for you to let it go and move on, you inexperienced lawyer. You lack the competence with which to accomplish anything meaningful here. Is he right? Is this too much for me to handle on my own? What good is she doing anybody? She should just quit right now. Now, defense, leave everything to these humble servants of the Holy Mother. He's trying to use your keen sense of hearing against you to manipulate the trial, Athena. What a cheap trick for a supposedly holy man. Simon! And you fop-doodles in the gallery. Can't a man watch a trial in peace? Fop-doodles. This inexperienced amateur is about to turn the trial around. Does that prosecutor really think that we're fop-doodles? The mood in this courtroom is starting to change. Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you doing at the defense's bench? I grew bored of watching from the gallery. Besides, if I were to leave this trial to this spring chick and lose my favorite soba shop in the process, I will be quite cross. You voluntarily stand on the side of impurity and sin. What a fool you are. To think you were so easily manipulated by his parlor tricks. Whatever happened to qualified and capable Athena? I just let my guard down a little bit, but it won't happen again. Then gird up your loins and steel yourself for battle. I'm not girding up anything in this skirt, but I am ready to get serious. It seems there is now yet another soul I must cast down into hell. I was in prison for a long time, and hell sounds no worse than cell, to be honest. But the fires of hell will not be the end of your suffering. For the sin you have just committed, you shall surely be reborn as a panda in your next life. A white and black reverse white and black reverse panda. Truly. Somebody's smoke detector's going off. And you shall be put in a zoo to be exposed to public ridicule. A threat like that won't work on Prosecutor Blackwell. After all, he's already used to looking like a panda in this life. Who are you calling a panda? Sorry. I see that you are both prepared to face the fires of damnation. Geru, thank you for your service. You may step down now. Okie dokie, bye-bye balloon. Does everything have to be about balloons with her? Now then. I have a witness prepared to testify about the Karuto cards. And who is the witness this time? The first to discover the body, and someone who witnessed the crime firsthand. Mr. Uendo Tornado. The time has come for that ponytailed pair over there to finally let it all go and move on. I'm gonna real quick poke my head out into the hall and make sure that my apartment isn't actually on fire. I will be right back. Okay, so I am back. It was really a fire. And it's still, like, smoke alarms are still going off. The whole top floor, it does have a lot of smoke. But I guess I'm going to end the stream just because, for one thing, the fire alarm's going to be going off probably for a while, and also I don't know if they're going to, like, have us evacuate or something, even though it's, you know, it's obviously just up on the 3rd floor. I'm down on the 1st floor. So that's it, I guess. Short stream. I will be back on Thursday for more Phoenix Wright, Spirit of Justice. Heat Flamesman. He does strike. He does strike again. And he got me. Alright, have a good night, everybody.